Hey guys, Michael from Copper vs Glass, and in today's video we're looking at a way of getting Android Auto or Apple CarPlay in any car, really simply. Now yes, this can be done using the Android Auto app on your device, but it's not the best application, it's a little bit small depending on the phone screen you're using, and it doesn't really get a ton of updates. So what we have today is coming from the company Carpuride. Now they have a ton of options on their site, so this one is the model number 901A. And getting right into it, we have the unboxing. You have the user manual, 3.5mm audio cable, DC car charger, two different bracket types for dashboard and windshield, with one of them being very adjustable. And lastly, the 901A. And looking over the screen, it has a nice size and overall resolution. You have a 9-inch display, which I think is plenty for running Android Auto apps like Spotify and of course Google Maps. It comes in at 1024 by 600, so for an in-car display, it's actually pretty sharp. I've always had a bit of an issue with in-car entertainment systems, not just the screen itself, but just in general the sluggishness and the overall performance of what's going to be built into your car natively. So to get something third party giving you all of the support from Android Auto and Apple CarPlay is really nice. Looking around the screen, you have the power button on the top left, and all of your I/O is also on the left of the screen. And this means that cable management is really easy with the 901A. It doesn't mean that you're going to have loads of cables coming out from every side of the screen, just from that one side, really easy to route back round into the power outlets. On the back you have your mounts, vents for cooling, and a speaker if you don't want to use the 3.5mm cable. You then have a 12V DC input, full-size USB-A, AV out, cam, and that's basically for any rear view cameras or any dash cams that you may have attached to your car. You can actually route them directly through to this screen. You've also got a micro SD card slot for any sort of video or audio that you may want, and a 3.5mm card jack for the input for the car. But of course the main thing is actually using the screen in the car, the user interface, the speed, exactly what it can do, and just how good that screen is going to be in outdoors conditions. So I'm going to go ahead and set this all up in my top of the range Peugeot 107. Now for me, my in-car entertainment system isn't necessarily the best, it's just what came with the car itself, and yes, I can use Bluetooth to get Spotify from my device over to the car itself, but in the UK it's actually illegal to drive while using a mobile device, so once I get in the car, put Spotify on shuffle, that's kind of it until I get to my destination. Now the good thing about my setup though is when I'm using the actual screen itself, I'm only going to be using one cable, which is the power cable. I'm going to be using wireless Android Auto on my S22 Plus, and the sound will be done using the radio's FM transmitter. All you need to do is tune the radio frequency to match the screen and you're good to go. Now of course you do have the option, and I do as well, of using the auxiliary cable and that 3.5mm jack, but for me I just want a little bit less clutter and less cables while I'm trying to concentrate on driving. So let's head over to the car and see exactly how it all works. So once it's all set up, this is the user interface you're initially granted with. You've got all of your options like iPlay for Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, AirPlay from your iOS device, Autolink for your wired options, display off. You've then got your Bluetooth options, all of your storage info for USB, and also the micro SD card, FM transmitter, and then the settings. Now, in all honesty, the settings are a little bit bare bones. You've got some language and reset options, wired options for both Android and iPhone, your Wi-Fi options, which is how you get wireless Android Auto or wireless CarPlay, and then a car icon, which is where you're going to get information in regards to rear view cameras and mirrors and things like that. Heading on back, you do then have the brightness options in the top right hand corner. You've got auto brightness, which actually does a pretty good job, and then just in general the brightness slider, and the screen actually gets relatively bright. As you can see, it's a pretty bright day out at the moment, and I've got no issues viewing it whatsoever. And now for the main reason why I'm using the device, and that is Android Auto. Now this is being wirelessly done here from my Galaxy S22 Plus, but as you can see, you've got the exact same interface that you would have with any car inbuilt Android Auto system. So all of your applications are here, everything that you would expect. So for example, if I go into Spotify, everything is exactly as it would be on standard Android Auto. You're just using a third-party display to get all that information. So again, if I go on to shuffle some music, it does so, and you're pretty much set and ready to go. Once you go back to the home screen, any application you're currently using will stay just down the bottom, and you can easily switch between any open or currently used apps down there. Heading into Google Maps, and in my opinion, Google Maps and Android Auto is the best map system currently available for any in-car entertainment system, and the main reason being is because it just uses Google Maps. So everything you would expect in Google Maps is going to be here. Now, as you can see, there is a little icon that comes up occasionally, and that's actually for the main interface itself, which brings up home and some volume options as well, and that's specific to the Carpuride app. So if I click on the home button, it will just take me back to the standard home screen, and then I can quickly go back into Android Auto and pick up exactly where I left off. Now, obviously Android Auto mirrors what's going to be on your device, so anything that you do on there will then be mirrored onto the Android Auto screen, but just in general, it's still a very quick and very easy user experience overall. If you're using Spotify, Maps, or even here like the Google Assistant, I can then say, what's the weather like today? And then what that's going to do is then just do a voice prompt over the speakers of the car to give me that information. Nothing comes up on screen, but it basically tells me that the weather's not going to be great today, highs of 17, lows of 14, and it gives me that information verbally instead of distracting me by putting anything on the actual display itself, which is really nice. But Android Auto is only half of it when it comes to this specific display. So obviously you've got Android Auto, you've also got Apple CarPlay, but if I go back to the main user interface, again using this little floating button just here, you've got other options as well. So you've got USB, which obviously I don't have anything attached, and the same for the micro SD card slot, but any media that you may have on those particular storage devices, you can then use with this screen. You've then got the FM transmitter side of things, and what you need to do here is basically change the frequency to maybe something that isn't necessarily being used on your stereo, and then tune your stereo, and then any audio from the screen will then go straight to your radio. Now, of course, you do then have other options for other devices. So if you click on the iPlay icon, that will allow you to use Apple CarPlay wirelessly using your iPhone. And you've also then got the AirPlay option, so pretty much anything AirPlay related using an iOS device. You'd also have some wired options as well. So again, if you want to use it for your iPhone or Android device, this will also then charge your device while using Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. You've also got some display off options. So if you're driving at nighttime, for example, and you do want to turn it off if it doesn't necessarily get dim enough, again, you've got the option to do so. You can also change the wallpaper, however, most of the wallpapers are extremely dark, so I am changing it, but you can't necessarily see anything on the screen until it gets to the one that has a hint of yellow in there, and then you can see that the wallpaper is changing in the background. But for me, the main use of this device is definitely going to be Android Auto moving forward. The fact that all I have to do is get in the car, start the car, the screen turns on, it wirelessly connects to my S22 Plus, everything is then set and ready to go. Now again, much like with a mobile phone, I wouldn't necessarily recommend using it while actually driving, but just in general, in regards to getting a better experience with something like Spotify or even the map side of things with Google Maps, this screen size, the screen brightness, the overall speed of the device, and just pairing wirelessly with my phone, this does a super good job overall for what it is. And I would definitely recommend it over most in-car entertainment systems, even in 2022. And that's going to do it, guys, for this video on the 901A from Carpuride. And in general, the 901A is a really great device for those that want Android Auto or Apple's CarPlay within their older car, or if they don't want to use their built-in entertainment system within the car. Or just in general, a better screen, user interface, and just in general, a little bit more entertainment options than what you're going to find even in some modern day 2022 cars. Now, the 901A will of course be linked in that description down below if you didn't want to pick it up for yourself, or like I mentioned, they do have tons of other models at different price points if this isn't exactly the one you're looking for. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up down below. And if you've got any questions or comments about this or anything else on the channel, let me know in the comments section down below. While you're down there, if you're not already subscribed, now is a great time to do so. And once you've hit that subscribe button, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you're notified anytime I post a new video here on the channel. I'm Michael from Copper vs Glass. Thanks very much for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next video.